What's poppin', y'all? Looks like the old guard is not so happy that the new young blood is out here killing it, because IRL streamers have been getting a bad rap in the Twitch circles. And first I'm going to read off a couple of tweets from people in the Twitch circles, but one of them is actually an IRL streamer, and he's responding to the hate that IRL streamers were getting at TwitchCon. So TwitchCon is the annual event. Well, there's one in Europe and one in the US. This is the annual one in the US. There's one, I think, in Berlin. It's usually in Berlin, if I'm not wrong. Or was it Amsterdam? One of those two cities. But IRL streaming has always been a thing at this event. Even people that would desktop stream for the regular stream or gaming stream, when they would go to TwitchCon, they would stream it as an event. That's what they want. That's what TwitchCon wants. People want to see their favorite streamer interacting with other streamers, etc. So Jake and Bake, who's been an IRL streamer for a very, very long time. He was mostly known for streaming in Asia. He was a white dude, rarely regular guy that was just out in Asia. Japan, China, I think. I don't know if he was in China. Japan, Hong Kong was where most of his content came. I would say he was one of the first Japan IRL streamers that was a white dude. And he averages significantly less viewers now than he did at his peak. I would say his peak was from 2018 to 2022, maybe even 2021, probably. And he's down viewers. And that's not to knock him or anything, but he's past his peak. And he says, IRL equals in real life. I've been on Twitch as a viewer for 15 plus years. In fact, it's been my primary source of consumed media since. Yes, I'm a loser. I've seen the growth, the ups and downs, streamers come, streamers go, and an ever-evolving community. I've witnessed a diversification of content into non-gaming, IRL, since the inception. Seeing all of the understandable frustration with TwitchCon and IRL streamers this year definitely hurts, as it lumps in everyone in an already hard-to-navigate category. And by hard to navigate, you got to keep in mind, this guy was a streamer, an IRL streamer, at the same time that Ice Poseidon was an IRL streamer. And they are very, very different. Jake and Bake is very non-confrontational. He's not bothering anybody. He's not doing anything edgy. We're not even talking a paper cut. This guy is he's just a really regular, normal dude. Me personally, I don't even find the guy I don't even really find him entertaining. And I think that's partially why his viewer count has dropped. But the point is, and I don't want this to seem like disrespect towards him, because I respect what he did, and he was there at the right time, and he grinded, and he's been consistent. He would also have content with girls. But the point is, even back then, the streams that Ice Poseidon was doing with his Fear Factor series and his edginess and his type of humor was so far removed from what Jake and Bake was doing. And the community that Ice Poseidon fostered was so different from what Jake and Bake was doing. So I understand his frustration with not wanting to be packaged in a genre with all of these other people. It's like saying, yo, gaming streamers, and you've got toxic gamers raging with dropping slurs left and right, and you throw that on everybody else. It's not fair. And he says, IRL has never had a perfect place on Twitch. In fact, it's always been the hardest game on Twitch. This is facts. He's cooking. But man, to see what the majority of IRL has quickly changed to in such a short time has become somewhat jarring. I understand the frustrations completely, because I have them too. Of course, this isn't everyone, and there's tons of amazing creators doing things properly. I'm just a small voice in this big space. But later this week, I'll be discussing the current state of IRL on Twitch. I will be covering this if I remember. I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts as well. All this being said, I still enjoyed my weekend thoroughly. Having a place to reconnect with my friends I don't see often through the years makes it all worth it. And it seems like a friend of his replies and says, it feels as if the trashy appeal of reality TV has hit streaming, but lacks the infrastructure and safety planning that actual reality TV has in place. I understand the importance of lifestyle content and don't think that removing it will solve the issues in the industry, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss early Twitch that was ran by esports. I think this is somewhat of a fair take. And he says, I'm not gonna lie, if I could just be a 500 viewer WoW streamer, I think he's talking about World of Warcraft, for life, I would swap in a heartbeat. And this is the thing, man. These guys, they don't realize, these gaming streamers, they don't realize how tough it is for IRL streamers. The audience for IRL streamers have such a higher demand. But also, another chick replies, who is an IRL streamer, and says the following: as an IRL streamer, I hated all of the fellow, quote, IRL streamers this year at TwitchCon, walking around in massive groups with massive camera rigs, blinding lights, and just being very obnoxious and attention-seeking. Don't get me wrong, wrong. I did my own short IRL stream on a small personal setup, and you can easily do that without bothering other people and respecting everyone's space and boundaries. I know I'm not the only one who feels like this. Everyone I know has not been happy. I feel like next year they need applications permission to be allowed to have these massive setups or to even IRL stream. Anyways, follow me on Twitch if you off rip. This chick is boring. Just open up her stream, look through any clip. She's just, and this is, I think it was Mizkif that said this, who was one of the biggest streamers on the platform at one time. He's like, yo, if you're a girl, just if you're a girl and not obese or not like, don't look like a, I don't know, like a swamp creature, you're going to kill it on Twitch just because like the way the market works. There's very few chicks on there. But this chick, she's just streaming, like she's driving in a car. She goes get some food, not funny, just reading off of chat. Yeah, you cannot compete. That's the thing. And this is the issue that I have with a lot of people. And why are they not naming names? Because if you're telling me like, yo, who are IRL streamers that suck and that are really bad, there's less than 5 names that I can come up with. Number 1, Johnny Somali, dude's locked up. Number 2, Vitaly, dude's locked up abroad. Number 3, you could potentially say Sam Pepper, depending on it, especially with what recently happened, which I may cover. And then you've got Jack Doherty. Certainly, he's top 3. I don't think he annoys people. I don't think he's bothering people out in the street like he used to. But who else? That's most of it that I can think of. There's probably other names that I'm missing out on, but everyone else, they're more like in good fun. So, and all these other guys, like we've got, what other IRL streamers we got? We've got Kanel, we've got Kai, we've got people like the FaZe guys, they showed up. And for the people to be able to have a cameraman and a rig and people following them around, they're already at the top of the game. You can't afford that if you're just an up-and-comer. And even like that chick, like there's this chick that has a cameraman, I think Snowcone. She used the infamous 10K is not enough. Or that's what got attributed to her. 10K is not a lot. 10K a month is not a lot. Even though she broke it down and why IRL is so difficult. So they're not even naming the streamers that they're talking about. Another chick would go on and say, in my opinion, it's not IRL streamers at TwitchCon that are the problem. It's a live streaming convention, and there are plenty of wonderful, respectful, and creative streamers who have a great time streaming the con. The issue is the cringy, clip farming, disrespectful weirdos. This is a little bit too vague. Some people could also say Neon, maybe, in that list of 5 people. At least old Neon. But current Neon, I don't think he's that much of a nuisance to public. The way it bothers me is when people are going out in public disturbing people. Like if someone just says like, hey, I'm not interested and they leave them alone, that's cool. But if they're disturbing the peace, especially of regular workers, people that are doing retail jobs, things like that, like, yo, get the hell out of here. I'm not trying to hear that. Or if they're resisting policy of like, hey, you're not allowed to film in here. I think there was a moment that agent had with somebody and he was just like trying to bypass it. It's like, dog, the guy's just trying to do his job. It is what it is. Just keep it pushing. And that's not to knock agent. I think the guy's a great guy. Blanket statements hurt everyone, and I can't sit here and say Twitch should just ban all IRL streamers. See, this is just such a black and white thing. Twitch wants people on IRL, and what these people don't take into consideration is the game has changed. A lot of these people have been on Twitch for a long time. Like this one chick, Sunpie. This is one of the most incorrect takes I've ever seen. Not incorrect. This is an example of somebody who climbed up the ladder and is just pulling the ladder from underneath them. She goes on to say, IRL streaming at TwitchCon defeats the point of TwitchCon. It's supposed to be social. If everyone's just talking to their phones, trying to clip farm and annoy people, what's the point of being there in person? IRL streaming has been a thing at TwitchCon for at least 7 years. At the very least, if not more. Dog, the guy Justin Kwan, who started Twitch, was IRL streaming his life. So what do you mean like that defeats the point of TwitchCon? No, it's a convention. People stream the convention. Now, it's supposed to be social at certain after parties because people go to certain after parties and then they would just hang out there and they would feel like they could let their guard down. But the thing is, with a lot of these the new crop of IRL streamers, and we're talking the IRL streamers that we know, like the DDGs, all of these other guys, these guys are pretty similar on camera and off camera. They don't have anything to hide. So they don't have a problem with being on stream. These other streamers, these older streamers, they've got a streaming persona and an off-camera persona. And they're terrified of their audience to get canceled because of how Twitch used to be and how that old community was. And they're terrified of that audience that there needs to be a separation. And then someone replies and says, IRL streaming wasn't always about being on your phone and clip farming. Shame that people that do cool creative IRL get grouped into this. And then she says, you're so right. They used to be a point of mine. In real life, streaming was way more authentic. I will say there is a lot more scripted stuff now, but it's just competition. There are still authentic IRL streams. They're just not being watched because they can't match the level of entertainment that loose scripts can, aka reality TV. And someone says that's the meta for streaming, to clip farm. The better the clip farming, the better your exposure will be. Jinxie, or whatever the hell his name is, and Queso got huge because of their clips. Jinxie even attributed it on how that jump-started his career. Same with Queso. And he says, content creation used to be so authentic and genuine. Now it's just a bunch of body clips. No, it's always been the same. It's always been distribution of attention. And the fact that people need to clip farm now and you don't want people to clip, then you're already set up. You're in the game. You've established yourself, and the only way for somebody to get in the game is to either get in the game through somebody already established, which you're not putting people on consistently, and I don't even know if she has the ability to put people on, so that's not a knock to her, but people are doing what they've got to do to get to the next level. And they're all talking about people like this IRL genre that has really spurred in the past several years. These people have brought in so many new users to Twitch that they've contributed more than they've taken. Like people like this that just got an audience that already existed on Twitch, when you take it side by side, who did more for the company? Twitch. You, this chick, Sunpea, who's not clip farming, not bringing people from other platforms, you're just on Twitch, and anybody else that was critical, you were just on the platform, and you accumulated viewers however you did, versus people like Jinxie, like Queso, like DDG, like Kai Cenat, like all of these other people, Aiden Ross, that clip farmed, quote unquote, and they got people from Twitter, from Instagram, from TikTok, drove them as new users to Twitch. They signed up on Twitch. They start watching other streamers on Twitch inside that whole community. And now they're Twitch users. They're buying subs on Twitch. They're buying bits on Twitch. They're giving their eyeballs to the ads on Twitch. Who's contributed more to the company? These IRL streamers. And I'm talking about this new genre of IRL this new flock of IRL that has come out in the past couple of years. So these people need to be they need to call out names when they're talking about what IRL streamers they're mentioning. Because people like FaZe have brought in a lot. And I was critical of FaZe when they first put that roster together. I was like, yo, I don't know if this is going to work. It's worked out outstanding. I was 100% wrong about that. And I'm glad, and they're doing great content for their audience. They're crushing it. So these people that are just doing, and I don't like to say average content because you could just do whatever you want. I don't think there needs to be this, no, you need to work harder. No, you don't. But do not criticize and try to demean people that are trying to get on without being disrespectful, without doing anything crazy, and just trying to be entertaining. And that's the only way there is to make it right now, because it's so much more competitive than whenever you first got on the platform. And she would actually go on to get close to naming certain people, but she says everyone is saying the TwitchCon vibe felt off. Everyone is not saying that. And the people that are saying that, I'm saying the TwitchCon vibe fell off, even though I wasn't even there, partially because the Emiru situation, which is the safety and security of the event, not the streamers. That's because a bunch of kick streamers, have taken over what used to be a safe space for gaming, art, and nerd culture. Now it's clip farmers, explicit content, and rage baiters. Yeah, that's right. The IRL streamers is coming in here and they're pushing you nerds in the lockers. They're giving you wedgies and they're putting you upside down in the toilet and giving you swirlies. It is what it is. It's time to move on. That's it. They came in just like those people that are like, they're like, yo, you used to get bullied for liking anime. Now, like, those people that bullied us like it. Well, toughen up. I don't even watch anime, but these people, like, hey, it is what it is, all right? Like, go find something new to nerd out about or get out of your shell. Like, you still exist in your own little safe space. That's like saying YouTube used to be this thing. Dude, YouTube is media on the internet. There are different tiny pockets of YouTube, just like there are different tiny pockets of Twitch. And the only time that you're going to see these people in real life is at TwitchCon. The only time there is ever going to be an intersection. And guess what? You can just say, I don't want to be on the stream. It's that easy. And nobody's going to have a problem with it. So I really don't like the way that this was. It just comes off so snobby. I think that's the best way to describe it. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.